to the DeTalented Podcast. As always, I am here with my faithful right-hand man, Jimmy DeTalented. Jimmy, say hi to everybody.
Hey.
It's always so energetic. You just never know what you're going to get. Well, we've got an exciting week. I know I'm super excited about it. But before we get to what we're doing tonight, just want to give that one opportunity for all of you to subscribe to this channel, like the video, comment, especially for those, it's for everybody. But if you're in the Evansville, Indiana area, I really want to get you guys on board with this, especially with tonight. Jimmy, we got a super special guest, and I'm excited about it because I don't know if you know this or not, but just in case you don't, a few weeks ago, we had the former chief of police of the 257th largest city in the country. Yes. And tonight, we have the current chief of the Evansville, Indiana Police Department, the 257th largest city in the United States of America, Mr. Philip Smith. So welcome. We're super excited to have you, man.
Thank you. So how many cities are there if we're 250?
I don't know, man.
There are thousands.
I'm not going to lie. I was specifically looking for Evansville, and after I found it, I was done, right?
Yeah, we're so much better than that 258th one. It's somewhere around 2,000.
Hey, you know what? That's one thing I'll say, man, is I love our city. I love Evansville. We both were kids that grew up always saying, "Oh, we can't wait to get out of here."
For sure.
I would not want to raise my family many other places than here. And maybe I'm sheltered because I know we don't have like a completely crime-free area, but I live in relatively the same area that I grew up in, man, and we have so few problems. This is a good city, and I think it's because we have good policing, and that's one of the reasons that I'm so excited to have you here today, Phil. And I know, we had Billy on before, and we kind of told people Billy's a super close friend of mine, grew up with him all my life, and so very few people that he talks as highly of as he does you.
I love, as he was his manager wrestling, beautiful Billy Bones. Beautiful Billy B.
Don't say you love him too much. He wanted me to ask you some specific questions.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure he did. He
has been hype about you coming on this podcast.
He loves to embarrass me.
So we need to break something. Do we start breaking stuff out early, or do we wait a little bit?
I think just because of tonight's time constraints, we probably ought to break stuff out.
Start breaking it out.
First,
what are we starting with?
Let's start with apparel.
Well, let's do it.
Okay, so here we go. Now, one good thing about the beards is that you can't always see what's underneath. So I need you to look at Jimmy's shirt as he moves his beard.
There's a big reveal.
Oh, my God.
That is one for you.
That is for you, son.
This is so awesome.
Dude, so we have heard about the crime story behind. So I know you got honored or something, but I want to hear you.
So here, first of all, who needs enemies when you got friends like that? That's number one. So here's the story. Here's the true, unadulterated gospel version of the story. Right? So this is back in 2020. This is back in 2020 when COVID, we had masks, the world shut down, and all this other stuff. The policing still had to go on.
Yep.
And we continued. And the Evansville Police Department has always been one of the most professional police departments. There's awards all over the place for the K-9 unit, just going back for years. But Billy, and I give Billy this credit, Billy has made the Evansville Police Department a real, in my opinion, a real community brand of policing. And his vision of connecting officers.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. I mean, we take kids.
These things I've not seen.
Right? Yeah. Still to this day, there's not. When I go places and tell them that we take kids to Disney World, there's a lot of police departments. They're like, "Y'all do what?" Right. And that's all Billy. Billy's done a phenomenal job. We've continued a lot of that stuff. Why recreate the wheel? But I digress. 2020. Yes, 2020. And there is an award. There's an Attorney General of the United States appointed strictly by the president. This person reports to the president, is one of the president's cabinet members, right-hand man. Like, he's up there.
Yeah, the AG.
The AG.
Like Pam Bondi is the AG right now.
Yeah, Pam Bondi. So all in the news for, the wrong reasons today. But William Barr was, I've had the privilege to meet two attorney generals, both under President Trump during his first term. I met Jeff Sessions, little guy, great guy. And then William Barr has an award, the Attorney General's Award. It only goes out to like 26 police officers in the entire nation. Wow. And I had a coworker, he nominated me and put me in for this award. And no way am I getting this award. It's like 800,000 police officers in the United States, and only 26 people get this award. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So, he puts in, my resume, my bio, and all this stuff, and they the Attorney General sees, oh, God, these guys in Evansville are taking kids to Disney. They do basketball. They do, they do coffee with a cop. They do all these things to connect their police department to the community. And the award was the Attorney General's Award for Distinguished Service in Community Policing. And I was nominated and became a recipient of it.
Not only were you nominated, you won.
I won. I won. This is a big deal. So, when I find out about it, man, I'm telling my family, I'm telling everybody, like, man, this is a big deal. Like, you were a little Philip from Clarksville, Tennessee. Which goes back to what you guys were talking about of why Evansville is a great place to live, and I do love living here. So very similar to my hometown, but great place. I agree with all the points that you guys made earlier.
And you're Penson?
Clarksville, Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very similar in size to Evansville. In fact, the police department there has 289, same as Evansville.
Okay.
So
born and raised.
What's that?
Were you born and raised there?
So I was born in a town just north of there, Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, my dad's.
That's where your brother's at now, right?
Yeah, he's a pastor. Yeah. So my dad was a pastor there for years. He passed away, unfortunately, 4 years ago. And then my brother, who was a police officer, he was a sergeant at the time.
Yeah, I got a story. I'm going to tell you a story about your brother.
And so he left, he resigned from the police department and took over the church. And super proud of him. He does a great job. It took me several sermons to get over him, how much he looked like my dad up there. He does a fantastic job. But so I'm telling my family about this thing. It's like, hey, you guys got to come to this. I'm getting, recognized by the Attorney General of the United States. And I'm always just bubbly, smiley, cool, calm, collected. When the lights and cameras come on, that's my time, right? I'm a radio, television, broadcasting major. That's my thing.
Well, you're right at home.
He's my world. I got you. So, I get up there. I got my wife. I got my children. And I get up there, and I look out in that crowd, and I see Ray and LaQuetta. Those are my parents, okay? And when I see Ray and LaQuetta, and I know their story, where they came from, you got to think, these are two people, pastor, stay-at-home mom, they born in the 50s. They saw water fountains that said color. They sat in balconies to watch movies. They went through back doors to get food, and now they're looking at one of their children be recognized by one of the highest offices in the United States. Awesome. And I look at them, and I lose it. I'm crying. I can barely get words out, and it's a very emotional moment captured, and I can't even remember the things that I said. But I get through the speech. I'm sure I was a blubbering mess, but I get through the speech, and then I go out to eat with my family, and I'm hanging out. And this is the Billy we love. I get home later that night, Billy calls me, and, that's the chief of police calling me, right? So I pick up the phone, I'm like, hey, chief, what's up? And he is laughing so hard. He was not getting a word out. He's just, all I hear is like that laughter that you hear, and you don't even know what but you start laughing. So I'm laughing like, I know exactly what you're talking about. He's like, he's cackling, he can't breathe. I'm worried for his health at this point. And he says, I said, what are you laughing at? He says, dude, you're going to be a meme. Ryan was born. That's awesome. And I didn't know what he was talking about. He sent me the picture. He says, look at your phone. He sent me the picture. It's the ugliest face ever, crying. And since then, that picture it won't go anywhere. It's in restaurants here locally. It's on cars. I've seen cars pass by me. I don't even know these people. Backing it of me. There's people with socks. I've had people slide my DMs from other states. I had a trooper or a sheriff's deputy from North Dakota slide my DMs and say, I'm riding with you today. And he has a pen, a crime Clarksville pen. Because when Billy would go to these conferences, these international chiefs conferences, he would give out.
He has no shame.
He would give out these Crime Field things. So there's Crime Field coffee mugs, socks, neckties, shirts, you name it. All over this country. I'm a big crybaby.
Hey, that's awesome. It's a good reason to cry. I actually got it right here. Just so you know, Billy sent us the article today and said, hey, just so you know, this is what happened at Phil Klein Phil. But I think that's fantastic, man. That you won that and that you were able to. I love that happened for you while your dad was here, man.
Yes, I'm glad he got to see that.
I know that feeling. And, I'm a pastor, and so I took the church from my dad.
Yeah.
And a big part of it was so when you pulled in, you see that little old building over there. That's where we were. And when I took over, my dad literally looked at me and said, hey, I'm just going to see the new building before I die. Yeah. And so I was like, oh, okay.
And he's still here. He's
still here. He's downstairs. Yeah.
And he's fellowshipping in the new building.
Wonderful. He gets to, and he preaches in here. I was like, I told him then, I was like, you will speak in that new building. And so over the last 4 years, we've done that. But man, speaking about your brother, dude, he was probably the kindest officer I've ever met.
He's my mom's favorite.
Yeah. Well,
and he's mine too. So I was like, who's your mom's favorite? Like, Ray is my mom's favorite. I said, but there's a caveat. He's also all of our favorites.
Yeah.
That dude is a special dude.
Man. Yeah. Well, you know what? We got one like that. His name's Kane.
That's my youngest. These are all
and we tell him, he's our favorite.
He's that special.
It's okay to have favorites. Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's always clear cut. He's definitely the favorite.
Man, I had a cat. I had a horrible rash on Green River in Morgan. I'm not even gonna lie, man. It was my fault. I was raging a little bit because some guy had pulled up on this lady and was flipping her off and was like scaring her, and I just finally had enough. And so I jetted over after him. And then, long story short, I'm an idiot. I wrecked into a car who was uninvolved and was a family, and thank God they didn't get hurt.
Right.
I think I caught probably the worst of it. But I'm sitting there, the airbag's going off, your head's ringing. I wasn't smart enough at the time because of the shock. The battery got disconnected, so I couldn't get out of the car because the buttons wouldn't work. Well, common sense tells you, reach over there and pull it out.
Well, when you hit those kinds of level of stress, the first thing to lose is your fine motor skills.
Yeah.
So, even if you wanted to, you might have struggled.
Dude, I was struggling.
Yeah.
For sure. I ended up kicking the window out, and then some lady just out of nowhere runs up and says, "Are you on drugs?" I was sitting. It just hit me right. Like, get away from my car. Yeah. So then the next face I see is your brother, and I just immediately I'm like, "Hey man, look, this is my name. This is what I do." I was like, "Hey, to be honest, dude, my firearm is right here." Yeah. He was like, "All right, man." He was like, "Listen, calm down. Put your firearm in your pocket." He's like, "Follow me back." He just took care of me the rest of the time. Yeah. He knew that it was an accident. I was honest with him. I was like, "Dude, it's my fault." So I did it, but in that moment, I've had experiences that weren't like that in the past, and the fact that his motive was solely to take care of everybody who he could was there, man. And he was, hey, you know what he did? He showed. You can be a police officer and still show and reflect Jesus. And that's what he did.
You absolutely can.
Yeah, and that's my thoughts of your brother. That's what he did. And he probably don't even remember it, but to me it was a huge deal. And I called Bill. Bill was the chief at the time. I said, "Hey, man, this cat is extraordinary." And Bill was like, "Yeah, he is." He was like, "That's Phil's brother." I was like, "Yeah, he told me." And I think you were already the assistant by that.
Really?
By that.
Okay.
It was during COVID.
I became the assistant chief in 2021.
So right after that.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think you had already had a pretty good relationship with Bill.
Yes.
So,
which I didn't always know Bill. I mean, you think we've known each other forever, and I didn't. I have a funny story of how how my career path has gone.
Yeah, let her rip.
Yeah. So I got hired in January of 2012. So I said 13. I'm heading to my 13th year. So January 28th. Of next year, I'll have 13 official years, so I'm 12 and a half. Okay. 12 is change, 12 and over a half. So I get onto the police department, and I don't know Billy Bowling. I don't know anybody on the police department really, except some of the guys who recruited me and said, "Hey, you should be a police officer." I started working out in the school corporation, with kids and after-school programs, and I did college readiness and all that stuff. And some of these officers, when I was at my last stop working in security, said, "Man, you should apply, man. We think you'd be good at it." Well, I never thought about it, so went on a ride along, liked it, applied, made it, and got through my first year of probation. And then the next year, I had one of my buddies.
I'm going to turn that off.
You're that guy. You're that guy.
I'm going to be that guy.
So I had one of my buddies convince me to do this boxing thing called Guns and Hoses. So I'm like, all right, cool, I'll do this. I'll train for it. And so I'm training for it, and then I've never really, skipped rope like that. So I ended up having these small stress fractures in my foot. My foot was just killing me. I was working the street. My foot's killing me. I'm like, wow, my foot hurts so bad. So I went and got it looked at, and I had some stress fractures. So they put me in a boot, and that is the dreaded thing for cops if you like to be active. I was active at that time. So they put me on light duty. Oh, God. Light duty, man. That's paperwork. I'm filing fingerprint cards because everything's going digital, and they've had fingerprint cards forever. So
Not a lot of action.
Kill me. And this is in October of, I want to say 2015, maybe 2015 or so. Yeah, October 2015. So I'm filing fingerprint cards, and Billy happens to walk through where I'm filing fingerprint cards, and he walks by, looks at me, and he treated every officer like this. He was like, "Hey, what happened to you? Why are you in the boot?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Man, I broke my foot, and I got some fractures, so I'm on light duty for a little bit." And it just so happened that was the week of the fall festival. And his secretary at the time was taking off, or his assistant at the time was taking off vacation. There's a lot of people do during that week that are around here, so they're taking a attend fall festival. And he always goes down there for lunch. And so he was like, "I tell you what, I need somebody to answer my phones. She's on vacation. I need somebody to answer the phones. You're on light duty." I was like, thank God. I was so happy to get on the phone. I could talk to people.
Yeah.
I went down to my sergeant. I'm like, Chief called me upstairs. "Yeah, I wanted to help you." Chief kind of comes to everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm up there and I'm answering phones for him, and he comes out and he says, "Hey, you want to go to lunch with me? I always go to Fall Festival. Can you walk in that booth?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can walk in the booth." So we go down there, and we exit the car, and we start walking down the street, Franklin Street. And people keep stopping me because when I worked in the school corporation, I coached sports, I coached volleyball, basketball. I put together all the family functions, school events. So if you know the kids, you know the parents.
Yeah.
And you know the aunties, you know the uncles, because they show up for their babies, right? So you get to know all these people.
Right.
So I'm walking down the street, and we keep getting stopped, but they're talking to me. And, I'm walking with the chief of police. And so he starts asking questions about me. He says, "Are you from here?" And I was like, No, sir." And he was like, "Well, how do you know all these people?" And I said, "Well, that's why I do. You know the kids, you know the people, come from my background." And I worked in the school corporation about 6-7 years or so. So that happens on day one. And then we go down on day two, it happens again. Then day three, it's happening again. Then we bump into then Lloyd Winnicky and Sheriff Wedding.
Yeah.
And Billy says, "Guys, I got to tell you," he says, "I walked down the street with both of you guys, and, I hate doing it because people want to talk to you." He says, "But there's nothing like talking to this dude." Like a rock star. He says, "You guys got to see this." And right as he's saying that, somebody walks up to us, and you got the mayor, the sheriff, and the chief, and then you got little old me, and they're not talking to them, they're talking to me. "What's up, Bill?" And Billy's like pointing like, "See?" and then David, Lloyd both start asking some questions too, and then Billy says, "I'm using this dude absolutely the wrong way. We got to figure out something." And so he learns a little bit more. He learns about my background in radio, television. And so the following year, he brings me up to the Public Information Office. He allows me to be the Special Projects Coordinator. I do all sorts of silly videos. I do some serious stuff with media. And, you do that, and you endear yourself to the community. The community gets to know your face.
Oh, yeah.
Huge. And you get that trust added on to the fact that you know families. Added on to the fact that you've actually, did the work as a police officer. I enjoy being a street cop.
Yeah.
In fact, I still get out and patrol with my guys. When I can, when I get the availability, I put the officer I've never really talked to him. Hey, I'm riding with you.
Yeah.
And jump in the car and patrol, and I'm paper side, or, I'm gloves, I'm searching cars right with them. Like, I'm one of the guys right now, So, get that, and when it came time, his assistant chief retired. And when it came time to select a new assistant chief, I'll never forget this moment. I'm at an intersection. I can tell you the intersection. I'm in Lynch and Green River, and I'm interviewing with 44 News about the amount of accidents right there. It's a ton of accidents. And so he calls me and says, "Hey, what you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm doing an interview at 44." And then he says, "Well, call me when you're done." And so I call him back when I'm done, and he says, "Hey, I just got through talking to the mayor. We've made a decision on assistant chief." And, I'm thinking he's telling me so that I can go back to the office and do the press release, type all that stuff up, and get out to the meeting. I was like, "Oh, no idea." Yeah. So I'm like, "Cool. Who'd you go with?" And I'm thinking these other names of these much more deserving, career law enforcement officers that have forgotten more about law enforcement than I know.
Right.
And he gets to rambling. He ain't a rambler. Billy, he strikes the point. He's rambling. I'm like, "This is different, man. What you rambling about, man?" So he gets to rambling. He's like, "Well, I mentioned these names," and he says, and then the mayor stops him and says, "Well, what about Phil? I got 8 years on it this time." And I'm like, "Phil?" So you joke. And he starts going into, why he thinks that I would be a good assistant chief to Billy. And Billy says, "Well, how I feel about Phil." And, okay, and then he's young, though, and Lloyd Winnicky, who I respect immensely, the man came to my father's funeral. I always got love for that guy. Yeah. He's a good brother. He says, "Well, I remember taking a chance on a young chief." Talking about Billy. And so I guess that helped Billy make his decision, and he's telling me, and he's like, "So you gonna do it?" And I was like, yeah. And then he says, "Well, ain't you gonna call your wife first?" That's a big decision. Because you got to bring all sorts of new stress to this household, right? Yeah. So call my wife. We talk about it. Call my dad, who's alive at the time, and accept it. Was Billy's right-hand man for 3 years before he ultimately retired. And mayor, now secretary, who I absolutely adore and love as well, was elected and appointed to be chief. I'll tell you what. The transition from assistant chief to chief, people might think that's a natural transition. Absolutely not. So this is how I like it. Billy was the driver of the car. I was in the passenger seat. I see everything out the windshield that he sees. I see the left turns. I see the speed bumps. I see all that, so the speed signs. But you have no idea how the car handles. Right. Until you're not getting the brake. You ain't got to be the one focused on all the oncoming traffic and all that stuff. You're just looking at it. And so immensely grateful to be under his leadership for as long as I was, to learn as much. I still call him to this day.
We talk about every day.
We talk about it. He told us. Yeah, we talk literally every day.
He said, "Yeah,
that's my big
thing." Guy calls me all the time.
I do.
Very nice.
Me, him, and Jason Cullum, man. Those we're the three amigos. Yeah. Those are my boys. I love those dudes.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. And Billy is a good guy to come up under. Well, let me tell you this, man. If you would have grew up with him, man, it's sort of like, so, he's a big Goonies fan, right? Are you a Goonies fan?
I am.
So it's like it's like we were all in that group, the Goonies, right?
Yeah.
And Billy was Chunk.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we wake up and our buddy Chunk is the chief of police.
Isn't that crazy?
And we're like, what the heck just happened?
That's nuts.
This is not possible. And it's so funny because the way he got into, and I know you know this, and we even talked about when he was almost, he did loss prevention at Kmart.
The best job he's ever had, by the way.
Yeah, dude. And then he runs after some people and he gets his tab tore up. And he crying Bill.
Yeah.
Back in the back.
Yeah.
I'd be like, never again.
Yeah. I love that story.
So Rocky and Rambo.
Up steps.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Billy is one of the impressive humans that will do things you don't expect him to be able to do. He's done so much, man. You mentioned like Cops with Kids and the Disney thing. You were just talking about our name. The talent is Laszlo.
You know that.
Yeah.
He's the ladies' man.
Yeah, the ladies' man.
Yes, he is.
Laszlo is the ladies' man. And so man, that was that.
So what is Laszlo to you guys again?
He's our cousin.
So listen up, world. I'm telling you about Laszlo. Laszlo then as an 8th grader, not Laszlo now who's a young man.
He has a beard and everything.
Yeah, he's matured. Laszlo, the 8th grader with raging hormones who saw any woman and had a pickup line. Like, he did not care about. It's one of those dudes. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
He was going to shoot his
He
shot.
shot his shots, man. I was like, that boy is smooth
Every time.
His dad's pretty much like that.
Oh, yeah. Great kid.
Yeah,
Great kid.
he's a great kid. He is good.
He is.
Dude, he's so polite and he's just such a. He's like just a loving kind of soul.
I saw him. I saw him not too long ago down at Marina Point. I was playing down there, right? At the end of the night, I've got my guitarist up on stage, and I'm mingling and talking to people, and I see Laszlo come up. He goes, "Hey, cuz." I was like, "What's up, buddy?" He said, "Do me a favor." I said, "Watch my guitar." It's a crowd. Somebody could just come up and take it. So he goes, "I got you, cuz." So I come back. The guitar's gone. He points over. He goes, "Got you, cuz. It's right there." I said, "Laszlo, that's the case. There's the guitar." Turns out somebody did take it.
The guitar was on a stand, right?
The guitar's on the stand. The case was right there.
He goes, nothing.
He said, "I got you, cuz. Your guitar's right there." I said, "No, it's not, Laszlo." But it was gone. Turns out I knew the guy who took it.
That is hilarious. I bet he was busy talking to somebody.
Where were you at?
At Marina Point.
At Marina Point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's where you seen Bill the other day, right?
That's where I saw
I think
Billy.
Bill came down. We were at Kentucky Lake.
Yeah.
Me and my wife were at Barkley Lake.
That was the night the T-shirt idea.
Yes. Okay.
Hold on.
So let me tell you.
Whose idea was
That was.
what you should do is.
No, it wasn't that. It was. Hey, I would deliver these
No,
T-shirts.
that's what it was.
Phil.
I love that he gave me a beard. A very cool beard.
Phil, I was on vacation with my wife for our 25th anniversary. We were at Barkley Lake down in Kentucky. Dude, I pulled in the driveway, and I look back, and there's a Jeep trailing me right in the driveway, man. And it's Bill with the shirts.
Delivering shirts.
He's like, "Here's them shirts. I was out getting some food, so I figured I'd bring them by."
So speaking of Billy, I've got to bring up kind of a crappy situation.
Okay, let's do it. Here we go.
You ready? Yeah. Tell me about these bidets, man.
Oh my God! Listen,
What's up,
listen here. If you know anything about me, you know that the 4th of July is my favorite holiday. Red, white, and blue. This country is the greatest country. I wouldn't trade it in.
America.
I wouldn't live anywhere else. Only in America can we happen.
Yep.
This is a wonderful country, but I tell you what. The French got it right. The French got it right with bidets.
He says they're in every bathroom.
I have one in every bathroom.
That's what he said.
In my home. The first time COVID. When you get bored, there was a toilet paper shortage. And COVID, that's what happened. Is people went and bought all the Charmin, and I was like, man, what am I going to do?
I'm going to go buy bidets.
Yeah. Because I'm on shift, and that's like, hey, everybody's buying up the toilet. Well, I can't. I'm working gym town right now. I'm on shift.
We had one green beret on. Now we've had a green bidet on.
So I get these attachments, and I'm like, just to save on toilet paper. I don't know. That was apocalypse. That was apocalypse now.
What's going to happen?
We don't know what's going on. So I get these bidets, and the first time I used it, I'm telling you, I wasn't ready for the full power. You got knobs. You got knobs.
So
right?
there's a pressure.
Yeah.
You got some adjustments you have to make.
And you go one way, it's the stream. You go the other way, it's a spray. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Basically, it's a shower for the backside. And I never thought I'd like it. I swear by them now. I don't clog my septic tank with flushable wipes, which aren't really disposable wipes, by the way. They'll mess your system.
Who wants that in the trash?
You don't want that in the trash. Get a bidet. You use less toilet paper. You'll be clean as a whistle. Viva la France. The French got it right. And he criticized me.
He did, but
Does he got bidets now?
He went to Hawaii.
He
was
just recently.
he has bidets now, right?
His wife, Mitzi, made him call me. I'm sure she made him call me.
He said, whether bidet or banana.
He was real clear about the story. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yes. It's a shout out.
That don't surprise me about Billy, though, man. He's like, that don't surprise me at all. I can see Billy being like, you like it? Heading straight to the depot, picking him up some bidets. He's just like, I got them. Here they are. He's like, they're the best things ever.
Have you ever tried one?
I have not.
Have you ever tried one?
I'm not, but I'm very open to it.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried one, Mr. Producer?
Negative.
You know what? We've got an assignment.
We do.
We got to try a bidet.
Yeah, you got to try it. Let me know how it goes for you boys.
It sounds like it changes the
It
world.
does, man. I mean, you're free. Like,
Got sliced bread.
I get to the point now where when that happens, I'm like, I don't care where I'm at. It's like I gotta get home.
I'm always been like that anyway. That's one of my things. Is like I'm like, oh, I gotta go home. You know, I was with my granddaughter today, and I was like, hey, we gotta go back home. And she was like, I'll just be. She's smart. She's 8 years old. She didn't even pull up on. She's like, "Oh God, Poppy, you got to poop."
Yeah,
She's like, "Yeah,
very human.
Yeah,
Very human.
absolutely." And so we went back, and so man, when you were working for the school corporation, were you doing that when Bill?
Using bidets?
No.
Okay, no.
Switching gears. All right. That just hit me for some reason. I don't know why. Because it does. It's because I talked about my granddaughter, which made me think about my son, which made me think about Bill.
Mm-hmm.
Who
that was a lot going on.
It was. That's how quick this works. So anyway, Bill was the police officer that was at Bossy High School all the time.
Yeah, school resource officer.
Yeah, the school. Yeah. So were you friends with Bill then? Did you know him in fact?
No. Okay. So I came to Evansville in 2003 and was a student at USI. That was right around the time that he was, but I was in college.
Well, you are young.
Yeah.
Is that what brought you to Evansville?
Yeah. So yes, I was a transfer student. I transferred to USI. Yeah, so I've been here 22 years now.
This is another one of them make you feel old moments.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking like that.
So how old are you?
We're 50. I'll be 50 August 1st.
Oh, you're 9 years older than me.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I got a son who's barely younger than you.
Gotcha.
So that's maybe why. So his name's Matthew Lander. He played.
Man, I know him. Yeah. I used to watch that cat can ball.
Yeah, he can ball. Yeah.
That cat can ball.
So that's my little grandbaby's.
Yeah,
Daddy, right?
My sister. So, yeah, absolutely. I know exactly.
Who's your sister?
Yeah, well, her name's Melanie Albert now. She actually owns a really cool catering business called Smalbert. Oh, they're legit.
Brother, man.
She can throw down. Yeah. Smalbert's Comfort Food and Catering. Check them out.
All right.
What all do they cater?
Man, it's comfort food. I know the mayor always caters through her.
Okay.
A lot of people who do their events cater through her. You can find her on Facebook at Smalbert's Comfort Food and Catering. Just check it out. The pictures don't hardly do it justice, and the pictures are amazing. I mean, she had some like Prince dude and from overseas that came to Lexington, Kentucky to buy some racehorses, fly her down to cater for them while they were there. I mean, like she's legit.
Man, sure.
She's legit. She's legit. Those shrimp and grits, red velvet waffles. I mean, you name it, man. She's good. Oxtails, you name it. She does it all.
So she's doing some soul food too.
Yes, she does it all.
So man, let me tell you, man, one of the best times of my life. So we just talked about my son. So he played AAU. So we traveled all over the place. And his best friend was named Jordan, and so we became friends. They're all in Evansville.
Yeah.
Jordan's grandma was named Nettie. That was her name, Nettie. Nettie, for some reason, just loved me immediately. So I was able to go in there and do things that her family, she'd slap them in, and she'd go, "Come on in here, baby." And she'd turn me on to do hot water cornbread. Do real well-cooked collard greens.
And he just had smile. Put that back up, Rick. Did you have it up?
What was it?
Producer Rick had the Smalbert's.
Oh, yeah, show it up. For sure.
Yeah, you check that out. That's it. That's my baby sister, Melanie. Yeah,
Melanie, we're giving you a shout out. If you want some catering, then listen, you need to call it's Smalbert's. Is that right?
Yes,
Smalbert's Catering. You can find them on Facebook. Man,
it's feel-good food.
Yeah,
and that kind of food does make you feel good.
So that's a mix of her name. Of course, Smith, her maiden name. Her husband's last name is Albert, so Smalbert's.
Okay, then this is a great segue because I got one more Billy Bowling question. This has to do with food. I'm supposed to ask you something about the difference between sweet potato pie and pumpkin pie.
All right, so here it is. We're family here, right?
Yes, we are.
We're about to cross over into the black zone. Sweet potato pie. So it is by and large and this is not just a sample size. This is by large. Black people eat sweet potato pie.
Yeah,
We don't eat pumpkin pie. In fact, I never had pumpkin pie until I tried it here in Evansville. I grew up off sweet potato pie. That's what I had. That's what I love. And we talked about it. He was like, pumpkin pie is just as good. I was like, I don't know. I ain't never had it. So I tried it for the first time. Pumpkin pie is delicious.
Not as good.
So listen here. I was like, we had Thanksgiving in Tennessee. And I said, well, I'm going to bring a pumpkin pie to Thanksgiving and see how this goes over. Yeah. I almost got disinvited to Thanksgiving. Yeah. They were like, who bought a pumpkin pie? And I was like, oh, man, I might as well put raisins in a potato salad. But it was nobody tried the pumpkin pie, by the way. Nobody tried to take it back home, and it was good. Yeah. We had a taste test in Billy's office when he was chief. And we put it on Snapchat, the police department Snapchat. We had this community guy named Philip Davis. He's a black guy. He came in and Billy was like asking. He said, "So what do you prefer, pumpkin sweet?" He said, "Oh, sweet potato pie. I've never had pumpkin pie." and it was a cultural thing that we never talked about. I didn't know pumpkin pie was a thing.
So let me ask you this: now, where does this fall in? Because I'm a fan of sweet potato casserole more so than either of those.
Okay, I love both. But sweet potato pie is fire.
Have you had this legit sweet potato casserole?
Yeah,
it's legit too.
Yeah.
There's a nut in it now. Shut your mouth.
Dude, that's so good. And I'm amazed. I love that kind of food, man. I always have.
Well, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday.
Yeah.
How much heart disease is at this table right now? We have visceral things just all around our body. It's okay.
Enough to cause a problem, probably. But man, that's a good question, man. Yeah. Brings it up because we were talking the other day, especially with your brother being a pastor. He's pastor in Hopkinsville, right?
Yes.
What days do you have service? When's his services?
Sunday. He does Sunday and Thursday.
I would ride down there Thursday, man, and check that out. Sundays, obviously, we're tied up.
What kind of church is it?
It's a non-denominational church. Okay. It's called the Church of Jesus at 1312 East 19th Street in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. They don't do socials. There's no social medias on it. Okay. But yeah,
let me tell you, I know about this church. Billy told me about the church. It's a black church.
Yeah.
And I love black church.
So then let me ask you about the band. Let's
jamming, man. Jamming. He just passed away recently and went home. But we had a saxophone player named Sonny, Sonny was a bad boy with that saxophone, and he played at my father's funeral, and Mitzi was there. And Mitzi looked at Billy and because you have to have lighthearted moments,
right?
In moments like that, yeah. And she's like taking this experience and then looking at all these people, and she looks over at Billy and she says, "I've changed my mind. I know what I want when I die. I want a band in my funeral."
That's awesome.
So Billy told me that just out of nowhere they went and visited the church. He said he's like, dude. He said, we've been going to church our whole life. He said, I've never been treated and welcomed at a church like that. He said, we walk in, dude, we're the only white people anywhere around. He said, every person in that church comes and said, oh my gosh, we're so glad you're here. We love you. And that's always been the experiences I have. Yeah. And go in. But man, I got to ask you something. Have you seen who Gary Owen is?
I love Gary Owen.
Black church.
I love Gary Owen.
Only twice in one day. Yeah. That's great. Dude, I love Gary Owen too. I was dying when I was saying that.
Well, you talk about that, and I've had experiences where I go into churches, and then, they look at you like, who's the new dude? And it's like, man, if you break it down, and like I said, I'm far, I fall short of the glory on a daily basis, on a secondly basis, like all the time. Man, that is your opportunity. I don't think people take the opportunity to understand what going to church is.
Yeah.
You talk about being around royalty. You are around Jesus and his people. Yeah. These are the same people that are going to walk the street with gold, paved with gold. We are there to do one thing, and that is to celebrate our King. Yep. Give thanks, give worship, watch souls be saved. Watch people be forgiven. Watch people, repent. Just love on you. I mean, you are around royalty.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
History? Are you going to be a preacher too at some point?
Man, we all.
I'm hearing that.
We all have it in us. Now, that don't necessarily mean I need to be on the pulpit in front of the masses, but anytime I get an opportunity to tell somebody about Jesus, I need to take it.
Well, absolutely. I love that, man. I love hearing that. That's right. I often say, man, we should, when we enter church, it'd be such a big difference if people went in with serving towels on their arm instead of forks, thinking that they're just, because what happens then is everybody goes in there with the desire to serve, first of all, our King, God, and then just to serve each other, whether it be a hug. Like you said, Billy was like, man, walked in there, he's like, I've never felt that kind of reception or love ever before in my life at another church. And I think that, you just hit it on the head, man. Yeah, it's our opportunity to go in that, David said, in the holy place.
Amen.
When we go in there and we get to, and a lot of times, man, we're not this podcast isn't a church podcast, but we always talk and glorify God. And I love that you do that, especially in the position that you're in, because, people got mouths, man. People say stuff for no reason and get mean over stuff like that. And the fact that, you're brave enough to step up.
He was brave enough to take lashes and lips for my little trifling work. So absolutely. A funny story about this, since we're just on this topic. We have a chaplain program at the police department, and I'm gonna give a shout out to one of it. Our chaplains are great, but this story involves me directly. We got a guy named Chris Holzmeyer.
Yeah, man. I went to high school.
Chris? He just founded
Thin Blue first.
Yeah.
Brian Brown's cousin.
Yep, huge supporter of law enforcement, one of our chaplains. So he became a chaplain right around the time I got off probation. So that, the time that I could ride alone by myself without, supervision, so I could screw stuff up myself. And so so Billy made him a chaplain. And, of course, he's ridden with his cousins before, but his first ride along as a chaplain was with me.
Okay.
And so I'm working the 9-to-5 car at that time. I'm working the West Sector. My call number was William 181. And so he comes to roll call, and I met Chris along the way. He came to, our academy training, said hello, all that stuff throughout the time. Him, Tyrone Edwards, several of them who stopped by. But he was like, hey, I was like, what you doing here, man? He was like, I'm doing a ride along. I said, oh, man, cool. Who you riding with? He says, I'm riding with you, Mr. Smith. I said, all right, cool. Right on, man. Let's go ahead and let's do this thing, man. So, I get my go bag, I get all my stuff, and put it in the car. Chris gets in the car, and, the cars are parked on Sycamore Street right there. And so we get in the car and we sit. And I just sit there. And Chris, I don't know what's going through his mind at this time, but I can see he's kind of like looking around like, what's going on? And I just sit there quietly. I cut the car on, cut the AC on because I think it was warm maybe. And he's like, what's going on? He was like, we good? I said, why aren't you going to pray? And he was like, oh, yeah. I said, man, you're a chaplain, man. Come on, man. I said, I don't get behind the wheel of this car and go out and patrol these streets without praying. I said, man, somebody might take pop shots at me. Heaven forbid, I may get in a situation where I have to act and do some stuff, man. I said, I'm not going to do this job not prayed up, man. And I don't go out there, without being covered a little bit. And now he tells the story to everybody. He says, every ride along, because of you and because of that moment, I prayed before. So I start off with a word of prayer.
And Chris is like, I think he ended up the head chaplain at the Evansville Police Department, right?
Yeah. Well, no, we don't have a head chaplain. Okay. We have that committee. He's heavily involved. He's very active.
But now he's more like, he deals with nationwide chaplains, I think. I was just reading an article about him the other day, and it was on the Thin Blue First page because I've seen that it being created. I just seen that maybe like 3 days ago. It's funny that you brought him up. And then I was reading all the things that he does, and I know he works with chaplains all over the country. Yeah. I know that. So that's cool, man. He's kind of come up, and so you're just like, who you riding with? Like, you. Yeah. That's awesome. You called him out. Look at that. You changed his. Right. He changed his career on the way that he deals with people. Yeah. But there's no telling how much good or how much fruit that's.
Yeah,
let's say going pro.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
You never know when you're going to impact somebody.
You never do.
You call it cliche, but bottom line, 100% fact truth in my mind is prayer changes things. And so the fact that that's awesome, man, that you did that. So what other stuff you got going on, man? I know and I don't want to go out of bounds, but I know here recently we had a little bit of trouble on the police department. Dude,
Man.
I felt for you.
I tell you what, man. So the last couple months have been challenging as a leader, as the head of an organization. One, you're responsible. I'm responsible. That's the way I look at things. When people come to me about, even discipline, about some officers that may have done something or may not have executed something properly, typically my first question to my commanders is, what do we do to prepare them to succeed? Instead of, all right, let's just do this corrective measure. Yeah, correction is protection. It absolutely is. But what are we doing? Are we setting our people up for the best possible success? And so I always take ownership of that. And that may not be everybody's style, but that's my style. That's how I do. That's the first question that I ask is, what do we do to set them up for success? And if we are going to do some sort of disciplinary action, what is the plan moving forward? What's the path forward?
Right.
Because it's just like a kid. We got whoopings and spankings as a kid. If your parents did it correctly, you might get that spanking. Then after that, they think you got some ice cream or something. It's because you got the correction. All right, we ain't going down this path no more now. And I love you. It's just like you get a spiritual whooping from God, and come on back into my fold. You get this whooping because you should have done that, but come on back in the fold.
Right.
And that's how it should be, not only in your personal life, but in your professional life as well, especially if you're a leader. So, yes, we've had some very challenging moments. And what I tell our officers that may be watching their coworkers experience these tough moments is like, here's the deal. If you ever once said that you are friends with these individuals, right now they may be in a spot where they feel like they're on an island because of what happened. It may not have changed what happened or what was done. I said, but in this moment, it may make you think of that thing. I said, but don't be so shallow to where your friendship relies on a mistake that somebody made, and then your friendship can just check on people.
Yeah, man.
Check on folks. And I'm going to do my job. Billy was a great example for me of showing me how to do that. My father was a great example of me. Do your job, but never lose the empathy. Never lose the empathy. And so we're going to hold our officers accountable. They hold me accountable. The community holds me accountable. The mayor holds me accountable. And so we're all accountable to somebody. But you also have to have that empathy.
Yeah, absolutely. Candor and care. You got to have both. Let me tell you, man, I watched it right now, and I thought you handled it great. I thought your explanation and what you did was fantastic. And I agree with you, man. Definitely. I'm so glad that my friends didn't turn their back on me anytime I make tons of mistakes.
Amen.
And so I'm with you, man. Things got to be dealt with, but we're still responsible to show people mercy and grace. I mean, that's one thing.
You could be showing empathy and showing up could be the difference between them staying in that dark place or finding hope and a path out of that dark place.
Absolutely, man. Well, I know. I think in the short time, I know you haven't. Have you even been a year yet?
Yeah. So it's what are we in July?
Yeah.
So it's like a year and 7 months.
Okay. Wow, man. Time goes by so fast. But I know, man, you got all I hear is positive about you. And it's funny because that's not the case with hey, listen to me, my friend Billy Bowen. I heard a lot of that positive about you. I'd be fighting mad, but all I hear is positive about those men.
Well, keep this in mind. Billy, my predecessor, was chief for 12, almost 13 years.
Yeah, long time.
It's a long time to forget the beginning when there was only positive things said about him.
Oh, no, I remember it all.
Yeah.
The only reason I know, and I'll be honest, the only reason I knew about the negative things that were said is because he's a close enough friend of mine where I'm protective.
Right.
So I heard it all, and I was just like, I'm like, who's this person?
Yeah.
Because I know, I can tell they don't know the guy I know.
Sure, yeah.
They're saying things that are completely.
Yeah.
What'd you say, brother? What you say, but he's still working.
You got to catch these hands, not Jesus' name. So, man, hands on the man Sunday. I'm going to tell you first.
Listen here, man. People don't forget. People forget. Jesus got angry. Those men flipping tables, man. You can catch these paws.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Billy will tell you that. Billy will tell you that. I'm real transparent about that here, too. Listen to me. They're not getting anything. Hey, what the people see here is what they see on Sundays and every other day. Man, I tell people the truth, and the truth is, I'm a whip. I'm a work in progress, right?
Man.
And people I care about, I will. Now, I was just like, man, in all seriousness, it would just heat me up, and I'd just be like,
you know the man.
I know. I'm like, and so to me, I'm like, that's false. And they're just saying it because they're mad because he made a decision, or they don't like that he's doing this thing or doing that. But they can say what they want, and I look at what that cat did, and man, he started so much around. You've never seen things like he started in this town. The parks that he built, I can't tell you how many times he called and said, hey, I'm doing this, and it's like, you want to be involved? He's always trying to do good for somebody. But yet, anytime something happened, they would want to, a lot of people, it seemed like would want to. There's one guy that just infuriated me. I'm not going to say his name out loud, but it just infuriated me, man, because he would go around talking so bad about
some guy.
He was some guy. The guy that gave, like, security classes and that kind of stuff. You already know what I'm talking about, don't you?
I'm not going to touch this. We are about healing.
That's right.
Moving on.
So, anyway, my point is I was just protective of him because he's always been
and I was too. Yeah. I was protective of him too. But.
It's just hard to watch your friends do that. But I said all that to say, with you, I don't. I mean, I honestly, I don't know that I've heard any one negative story, and that's impressive because when you're in a position like you're in, people try to, if there's nothing to say, don't make it up.
Well, here's the deal. You ain't gotta get a shovel to dig. I'll tell you about it.
Yeah.
So, I struggle. I make mistakes. Man, and you own them, and then you try to move forward.
Absolutely.
And that's it. You just be straight up front with folks.
Absolutely, man.
On some things, and if they don't like it, they don't like it. I try to treat everybody, especially when I talk to people. This is one of my things, and this ain't a politician thing. I ain't ran for no office, even though I talked about it at one point. I've not done that. I learned something a long time ago. Whenever you talk to somebody, you talk to them and you treat them like they're the only person in the room, whether they are the CEO or the custodian or the secretary, and you treat people like people, and people tend to appreciate that. Now, are you going to be everybody's cup of tea? Absolutely not. There are several people. I know you said you ain't heard, you just ain't listening close enough.
Yeah, well, some people don't like it. I'm sure there are.
Some people don't like our field, man. But, it's all good, man. Whatever. That ain't gonna stop my show.
No, and I would expect it to. I just say, man, I just say it to say, you seem to be highly favored.
That ain't me. That's Jesus. Yeah, that ain't me, man.
And man, I think you're, from my end, I'm a citizen in the city that you're the chief of police in. If you didn't know, it's the 257th largest city in the United States of America.
I'm from Evansville. Home of the purple.
I'm so glad you did that because we're running out of time, man. So there's a couple of things, and here's what I want to say first. Phil, can you put that on this screen where he can see it? Or is that possible? No? Can we twist that one around where he can see it? Because I want him to see this because I need your help with this.
Okay.
And I think you got some clout.
You're the chief of police. I know a guy.
I think you know a guy. So before we get into Rapper the Don, which sings the anthem for Evansville, I think this needs to be. Can you see that new sign that we want?
What is this? Oh my God! This is awesome.
Okay, so who do we need to talk to get this on the city limits?
I think MDOT.
The same people I'm going to talk to about all those orange barrels that I see.
You know what? I'm going to take this time. I don't want to talk politics. I want to take this time to defend my mayor because people get upset about all the road work. All of that ain't the city. Some of that is the state. You see some of the.
Well, I know it's not the city when I'm on
41 on 59. The mayor gets credit for all that. It's like, hold on, something's misplaced.
It shouldn't be there anyway. I get mad at it, and maybe it's because I'm not mad at them. Who I hold responsible for that are the engineers. Those engineers are the ones drawing all that road work up. You would just think they would say, okay, we don't want to shut down every route.
A little bit at a time. Not all.
Dude, the other day, I ended up having to turn around 3 times to get to there.
So I actually spoke to a good friend of mine who is the city engineer currently. He was telling me, he says, man, I've heard that. Why can't you do one project at a time? I said, well, you do one project at a time, then you get yelled at for these projects. He said, there's no winning.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There's no way.
Yeah. I'm sure that's a super stressful job.
Oh, yeah.
As stressed as we are when we're out in it, they're probably like,
well, that's me being the couch quarterback right there.
Yeah.
We were in a meeting recently with all the department heads, and all the questions and commentary were going towards him about this project and this, and at the end of it, I just walked up and tapped him on the shoulder. I said, I'm just thankful it's your turn this time. It was my time for a while there. It was time to shift the focus.
That's hilarious. But I did love that when Billy was on, he found out we showed the video right with the Dawn a few weeks
You would not believe how big of a fan
Billy was.
that I am.
All of us.
Yes. When you came, beat by the Purple Aces. Oh my God! I put that on everybody. Listen here. He had 8,000 views before that game.
Those were probably for me.
I put that thing up on my YouTube, on my Facebook page. It's ballooned. I like to think it's because of me.
It probably was. We're still growing. We're new. We've only been on 17 weeks, so we're just starting out. We're learning. We're not very good at this. But we've got one TikTok post that's got almost 80,000 views.
That's awesome.
And it's when Bill was on the show, and we were talking about the fact that Evansville used to have a professional football team in the NFL.
Yeah.
And
I've seen that clip.
Dude, that TikTok went wild. We were setting at a baby shower for one of the boys that's like our son. He's not one of our sons, but he pretty much is. And anyway, we're sitting there. My phone's exploding. I'm like, what is going on? And dude, it just started rolling. I've never seen nothing like it. We just kept watching. Oh my gosh,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So it was pretty neat that happened, and but it was funny to me that it was that, and I love that. I mean, I'm a football junkie. I love football. Go Cowboys.
I don't have a problem. I used to have a problem with the Cowboys. No longer. I grew up again in Tennessee. We didn't have a professional team, so it was I was a Niners fan at the time.
Okay.
So loved Montana. I was young when Montana, but a little older when Steve Young and Jerry, all those guys. And one of the worst memories that I have of your Cowboys is the fact that they got Dion.
Oh, yeah. Man,
they took our Dion.
Yeah.
We won Super Bowl the very next year.
Yeah, we did. Hey, let me tell you that. That's funny because I remember and love. So the 49ers, when I was a big fan, loved was Montana, Ronnie Lott.
Yeah.
All that crew, man. I love Ronnie Lott, man. You get Ronnie Lott on Tecmo Bowl. That was nobody who can match Ronnie Lott on Tecmo Bowl.
He catch Bo Jackson, but other than
Bo was fast. Dude, that's hilarious. Well, man, dude, I'm super excited that you come on. We're reaching that time limit. I know you got to go, but dude, I'd love you to come back, man.
No, absolutely.
Maybe we can get him and Bill on together at the same time.
That would be funny.
That would be really, really, really fun.
I got some Billy stories.
Oh man, you definitely got to come back. We just need to work on the logistics of it. But man, thank you for coming on.
No, thank you guys.
Thank you for what you do.
You got Jimmy. Brian, you guys are fantastic.
Thank you.
I really appreciate what you do for the ministry, and that you can be laid back and do stuff like this. The shirts are awesome. You guys have a great family.
Thank you.
And Laszlo is an example of that. I got to meet him before I met you guys. You guys are pretty cool. You got cool beards.
I appreciate it. I won't get mad at us. We'll go somewhere strangers and be like, oh, your guys' beards. And we'll be walking out and just barely pass them and they'll be like,
so what kind of product, before we go, what kind of product?
Okay.
Just tell me about the product.
Okay, so for me, man, I just put in a little bit of oil under just for my skin, but I just wash it with beard shampoo and then regular conditioner and blow dry it, every once in a while. But for the most part, not. But you don't do anything, do you?
No, I wash it with regular hair shampoo. That's the extent.
Yeah. You comb it, brush it,
just run the hands through it.
You just live life.
It used to be really dark.
Yeah.
I do brush mine. I can't just do my hands. But
Mr. Producer, you gonna grow one like that?
You just gotta think like that.
He's working on it.
You look like you headed that direction.
It does. But man, no. Yeah, that's like my dad. He'll always get it looking real good, and then he'll show up and just be skinned. I'm like, what happened? He's like, I couldn't take it anymore. I'm like, I told you, you got to get.
I don't want to know what's under here.
I don't. It's not. I know what's under there. I just don't know how many there are. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if there's 2. I don't know if it's Chinese phone book. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just, whatever it is, it's going to be a whole bunch of them. But man, I want to thank you, like I said, for what you do. You know, out there keeping community safe, and the way that you handle yourself, and the way that you're able to come on and be laid back. Because a lot of them, you know, a lot of times community leaders, it's hard to get on a personal level.
They don't have the days.
Yeah, they don't have the days. That's what it is. Well, I can say this. I hope my wife's listening. Listen, I don't want you to sing to August 1st to me the normal song. I want you to sing Happy Birthday to you. There's got to be something new on the throne. No, man. But seriously, dude, thanks one more time, and hopefully we'll work out the logistics and we'll get you back on here soon.
Awesome.
One more time for you guys at home, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. It's the biggest way you can help us. Like the video, comment on the video. Make sure you're sharing around with the people of this community. If you're in the Evansville area, man, I would love to just have more and more of our community leaders in here so that people can get to know them on a level like this, right? Where we're talking and we're just friends, and we get to kind of hear some of the other stories. So everybody, as always, I'm going to turn it over to Jimmy for that special goodbye.
Well, bye.